Well, Don, how's the hamstrings?
It's good. You know, I'm thankful that it was negative. And I'll be ready to go tomorrow.
Any pain lingering today?
Just soreness, but you know, that's it. But I'll be fine.
The report we got, were there multiple contusions? Is that the case?
Yeah, it's on the right side, left side, 2 on the left, 1 on the right. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's just going to be up to the pain. And I told y'all after the game I was going to play. So as long as it wasn't the hamstring, that was my biggest thing. Because when I went up, it's exactly what I felt was in the hammy, and I've never had knock on wood, I've never had a hamstring injury before. So I was nervous, but MRI came back negative, and it told us what we already knew, which was the contusions.
Was there pain on both sides, or did you just feel the pain on one side?
When I went up, or just in general?
Just in general, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know when it was. Game 4, I got hit here on the right side. Then y'all saw it when I came down for the rebound. I had already had a similar contusion on the left side, but when I came down the other game, that's when it really started to bug me. And then last night I went up, and I never felt anything back here. It's always been in the quad area. So when I felt the hamstring, I was a little nervous, but we're good to go, and I'll be ready for tomorrow.
So did you go through everything today then?
Yeah, we didn't really do much. Like we played fives or anything, but yeah, I did everything.
We've seen so many injuries from guys in this playoffs, Devin, and you could go down the list. Do you think there is something about like the playoff style of play that makes injuries more likely? Is it just guys going harder, or like? Yeah,
I mean, obviously there's an intensity that raises, but injuries are part of the game, unfortunately. It sucks to see guys out. From Book, Middleton. There are others that I'm forgetting off the top of my head, but Robert Williams just came back too. So it's just a matter of just taking care of your body. Whatever that means for each individual. Everybody's different. So I'm not going to say it's just the playoffs. Because it's just one of those things. You just got to do everything you possibly can to take care of your body, and ultimately go out there and just try to compete.
Were there things that you saw on film that stood out to you after that game?
Yeah, we didn't make shots. There were times where I think we went on a 9-minute stretch of not scoring up. I think it was, and I didn't. You don't feel it's 9 minutes during the game. You feel like, man, okay, we missed this good look here, we missed this good look here. But then when you go back and look, you see, man, it's been from like the 8-minute mark, 9-minute mark to like the 1 minute we haven't scored or whatever. So that's the toughest part. We went 3 of 30 from 3. You know what I mean? Like, that's what we do. Guys miss open looks. I missed open looks. We miss looks we normally make. And on top of that, we held them, I think it was 50 points the second half, and it didn't feel that way because they went on that long run, but that's 2 25-point quarters. You 2 or 3 points away from a really good quarter defensively, but when you're not making shots, you're not feeling that, So at the end of the day, we just got to make some shots, as a group. I think that's really the takeaway from the game. We make shots, whether we win or lose, it doesn't look the way it looked, and it definitely doesn't feel the way it felt. I think for us it was just they took care of home court, and that's how you can look at it. We didn't shoot well, and you kind of take the film and flush that one away, shooting wise, and come out and we had to take care of home court.
Do you feel like the missing shots has been kind of a series-long thing, just in terms of getting good looks you like?
Yeah, we haven't.
Not going.
I don't know the number. Yeah,
just because you and Mike are both shooting like 20% from 3 for the whole series.
Yeah, I mean. A lot of my successes come inside the three-point line this series, which hasn't been the case for the past like 2 or 3 years or whatever. So I've been making it a point, to get in there. So if I'm during this regular season, I'm taking 8 or 9 threes, and then this, if I go 1 of 4, that's 25%. You know what I'm saying? So like, or 1 of 6 or whatever it is. So I'm not really getting those attempts up, but. I think the same thing, falls into Mike's. He's not making shots right now as well, but it's looks that we want to get. Ultimately, at the end of the day, they're not bad shots. They're not shots that were like, they're outrageous. I think for us, it's just continuing to get, the looks we're given. And like I said, I've been shooting it well from three-point land, mostly in the playoffs recently, but also in the regular season. And then now they're making it a point for us to drive. So that's where we're giving it, what we're taking. But in the same token, we're missing open shots too. I think if we make a few, I don't think we're having the same, conversation.
You talked about how, you gave up 50 points in the second half, 52 in the first. What worked defensively for you guys, and what can you kind of take away from that?
Our intensity, and I think that's something we could look at, you know, and it's hard to say be happy about because we lost and we're in an elimination game. But like in the same token, it's like okay, you know, we can build upon that. You know, continue to guard. I think our defense in game 3 was it? It was pretty not great as a whole. And I think for us, you know, whether it's our stunts, it's our closeouts, it's our rotations, it's on the ball pressure, it's off the ball, whatever it is, we did a pretty solid job, you know, and you know we can continue to do that now. If we build that and make shots, you know, we feel as though we can continue to build and continue to do better things. But you know, we haven't hit shots, you know what I mean? So I at the end of the day, like especially after the last game, you know, that's the storyline. Like we didn't shoot well, you know, but we guarded. You know, when you look at the film, we guarded as a whole, and you know, and I think for us, if we continue to do that on that side of the ball, the offensive side will take care of itself.
Those plays where you're driving and they're kind of helping from the top of the key on you a little bit, and maybe there's a top of the key 3-point shooter open.
I mean the one Chuck was talking about?
Yeah, actually, yes.
Yeah.
How difficult is it to kind of know
It's
that
not,
that guy's open?
you know, and in that moment, you know, I'm not going to just go over that play just because he says something, but, you know, it's one of those things if, you know, I turned around earlier and hit him, you know, but I typically like to get to a spot and then turn around and find him. I thought I was going to get the foul, and I fell, you know, and there are other times where, you know, I speak for myself and other, but I'm speaking just for myself right now, like I get into the paint, and the floaters that I'm taking are the ones I've made throughout the course of the series, you know, so it's like you got to be able to find that balance. But guys are open, and I missed them, you know, and I hold myself accountable for that. I'm not running from that. But, you know, it's in the same token, you know, as long as we're trying to get shots in the paint, you know, so it's a balance, you know, and the easy answer is always, you know, when you're looking at it from this, everybody's open on there. But when you're in the game and you have 6'7", 6'8", it's tougher. But, you know, I got to make that read. That's what my job is, and, you know, that's what I got to do.
What's the key to playing well in an elimination game?
Well, I mean, I don't want to go home. I don't think any of us want to go home. I think that's the biggest thing. Ultimately, all you can do at the end of the day is just compete with all you got, you know, and play like there's no tomorrow, because at the end of the day, tomorrow is not promised. And I think that effort and energy on both sides of the floor, whatever it is, you know, it's maybe the shot's not falling, maybe the defense is going well, but you're just doing anything with energy and effort. Like whatever it may be, you just got to be able to do it 100% as a group. And I think that's, you know, the energy we'll come out with as a group. I don't even think that I know that, you know, knowing this team and this characteristic of this team. So we're going to go out there and fight and try and bring it back to Dallas.
You guys relied so much on the energy from the crowd, and moving forward, is this even more important if they're as loud as they are?
100%. 100%. I think, you know, I think that kind of goes without saying. I think the crowd knows. I think everybody knows and feels it. You know, we don't want this to be the end, you know, and we got to go out there and give energy, and then, you know, that we have one of the best home court advantages for a reason. And, you know, I'm pretty sure it'll be rocking tomorrow night, and we got to do our part as well.